Hello, Dr. Dorothy. Hello to
Hello.
our viewers. Welcome to another new episode where we talk about fun stuff.
Everything money.
Everything money, money, money.
Yes.
How has your week been?
My week has been good. Now
Been
that we are
good?
talking about money, I was listening to an interview that was being, an old schoolmate was being interviewed,
Mm-hmm,
and she was speaking of her career path as being somebody who is different,
mm-hmm,
doesn't stick to one thing for a long time. And
mm-hmm.
something about money came along, a question about how much money is enough. And it was interesting for her to say, so long as you have money um, to feed yourself, a roof over your head, and your kids can go to school, that's good enough. So
But
it's
then
good we are going to talk about money.
I love that. Yeah, my week hasn't been bad. I had a networking event that I went to. I met this lady who was an educator for 26 years. Speaking of staying in a place for too long, yeah, so I had to ask her. So now she's doing banking. So I had to ask her like, what
Mm.
made you change? I mean, 26 years is a long time. She said she missed out on a lot of things, especially with, her kids growing up, missing games, missing, because she would be working like around the clock. Now at
Oh,
least she has some flexibility. Yeah.
oh,
hmm Yeah. 26 years. Wow. It's a long time. All right. For our viewers, welcome to another episode. So today we are going to talk about something that our people are so scared to talk about. And when we say our people, we refer to our melanated community. So
shopping. Yes.
life life insurance. We can talk about high insurance, health insurance, but the moment you say life insurance,
We have an
the
option.
room
We
goes
are.
quiet.
Uh,
Oh my.
oh, yep.
But before we delve into why we are so scared of the topic, we can kind of start by defining what it is.
Mhm.
So from my own understanding, as a licensed financial professional, it's just simply a contract between you and an insurance company whereby you agree for a certain amount of money that you will pay. The insurance company will fulfill whatever is in the contract. That is my own understanding. What about you, Dr. Dorothy?
I think I would just add another layer to it because what you define is maybe what we observe. But the reason why we engage in having such a contract is usually related to risk.
Yep.
And we have a lot of risks. And at times, thank God, we are not bombarded that it's really printed on our psyche that all the time we are thinking of the risks.
hmm
Because I think we'd be frozen. We'd not want to make
Oh
a move.
yeah. Oh
Because you
yeah.
just right inside your house, there is walking out, there is getting to
hmm
your car, drive. It's all risk, but we
hmm
are not really always beholden by that power that, oh, this thing is really looming around and we are likely to walk into risk. So the contract in insurance is really based on the fact that there are risks and we are important to ourselves and to our loved ones.
hmm
And so play a role and such that if there's something that didn't allow us to perform our role,
hmm
then the life insurance would stop it, stand in that gap. And so it has a hidden, not so overt piece, but the contract comes about because of the risks that we have likely to encounter.
That is a very good definition and explanation. Now let's define life insurance in African terminology, especially in a Kenyan terminology. I'll go first.
Mhm.
So life insurance is something that you buy and then your
Mhm.
family members might kill you so that they can benefit.
Yep.
Simple.
It's a death benefit. How did the death comes about? Don't ask a lot of questions. I like your definition because I remember somebody saying that some people think if you buy life insurance, then you're calling death. You say,
Yes.
hey, I'm ready to die. I'm ready to die. Oh my God. I
Oh,
remember
wow.
a long time ago, some people came to sell life insurance. I was teaching in a school. So of course they come and get into the staff room. And
Mhm.
the deputy principal is kind of the administrator in the school. So she's the one who is supposed to interact with them. And in this case, it was a lady. She told them she's been insured by God.
Oh my God. Okay. And and a lot
And,
of people do believe that.
and that stopped every conversation that like there was nothing these people could. There was no talk after she said, I'm insured
Yeah,
by
their
God.
mind is made up.
Yeah, everybody else said, yeah, as she has said, even me, I'm insured by God.
And don't get me started, we are covered by the blood of Jesus.
Oh, oh my God. Yeah, we live in a world of risks.
Oh
So,
yeah.
hey, you can't claim you're covered and hey.
Yep.
Mhm.
But at least now we know what life insurance it is.
We
It's
do, we
beyond.
do.
It's beyond just the death benefit. There's so many
Mhm.
uses of life
Mhm.
insurance. So
Absolutely.
so today we are going to tackle reasons as to why we, by we, I mean melanated people are
Mhm.
scared to talk about life insurance.
Mhm.
Personally, before I decided to uh, become an agent, it never crossed my mind. I never wanted to talk about it because, like you said, it means you're calling on death, telling death, hey, I'm here, come take me.
Pick me, yeah.
But now that I know what I know, I want to talk about it like all the time because
Mhm.
we are missing out every single day not talking about it. Yet the
Yeah.
people that know about it are really taking advantage of it. So we also want to take advantage of it. So
Mhm.
the number one reason why we are very hesitant to talk about it is historical mistrust, which
Mhm.
is true because we all know as melanated people, we've
Mhm.
been through a lot of stuff. Like we will not be able to address all of them in
I
this
know.
one in this
Yeah.
one episode. So yeah, so
Discrimination is real.
yeah, so
Mhm.
past experiences with discrimination in insurance practices, things like racism, redlining, bias underwriting. So things like that make people be like, oh, no, I want to take a step back. And especially if, let's say, you go through it and then I go through it and then maybe a friend of ours also goes through it. So you feel like it's a chain. So it's us. So I don't want to talk about it.
You're out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There's reason for mistrust in the sense that something like insurance is a product of economic civilization.
Mm-hmm.
So at a later time, we'll talk about the evolution of insurance. So we'll see how it has grown over time to be something that is more versatile than it was at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
But since in the most of the uh, institutions regarding finance, melanated Black people were not at the forefront. We were not the bankers. We were not the financiers of most of these things. Indeed, we were among the chips of being played for people to be able to make money. So
Yeah.
I know, for example, people paid a lot of insurance on slaves
Mm-hmm.
so that if you got a number of put in a boat, you want the same number to get here. So you paid insurance to make sure if you have
Yes.
any loss, then you're covered.
Mm-hmm.
So in the beginning, the way these things started, we were not in the picture. Our interests were not part of it.
And
And probably even some people didn't think we should participate.
and we were considered three-fifths of a human. So hey.
Yes. So that has made us always say, these are institutions,
Mm-hmm.
developmental economic institutions that were created with no interest for us.
Mm-hmm.
So
For us.
we are not going to participate. And you give a good example of discrimination in even appraising a house just because of
Yes.
who occupies the house. So
Yeah.
yeah, there's a lot that we can draw a line and
Mm-hmm.
create dots. Even if it's just stories, we can create dots and say, hey, no, not for us.
Mm-hmm.
And so some of it, it would be unfair if we claimed it was unfounded.
That is
And
true.
when we come and we join the melanated group, there's no difference. We are just like, maybe we do not understand the deep history of where some of these things are coming from,
Mm-hmm.
but we just come and join the bandwagon because
Yep.
word goes around, the
Mm-hmm.
grapevine stories. You say, oh, I heard I want to do this. And somebody rolls their eyes and says, you want to do what?
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, oh, you tell me. And then they tell you the story of discrimination. You're done.
That's it. And like we said, negative information does not even get filtered.
Lie.
Yep,
No effort.
we
Straight.
embrace it. That's right.
We breathe it in like COVID
Oh
virus. What
yeah.
example? I should not use that.
Even if it's false information, we just take it in.
Yeah, so you can see there's a lot of reason
Mm-hmm.
why people can mistrust.
Yeah.
Even when things have evolved to be even more friendly, to be more versatile, we
There's
just
still
have
that trauma, yeah.
an entry point narrative that is stamped on us, and we are staying put. We are not moving.
And then it makes us comfortable. Ooh. And we
Mm,
all know
mhm.
comfort zone is not the best place to be. Anyways, the
Yeah.
second one is lack of representation, which is true. So if somebody were to tell me, let's say 20 years ago, that and you'll be uh somebody who'll be talking about life insurance to the community, I will burst out laughing
Not me.
and ask you, what is your problem? Because I'll be honest with you, when it came to life insurance, all I saw was Caucasian
Um, they're the
and
people
wealthy
know
Caucasian
these
at that.
numbers. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes, people that know their numbers. It never dawned on me that, especially me as a Black woman, somebody from Kenya, Africa, talking about life insurance, no. But like you said, because of time and evolution, yeah, things are changing.
Mm-hmm.
Like I recall going to a networking event I shared with you before we started the episode. This lady, when I shared with her about what I do, she was like, oh my goodness, you should join us because in our platform, I've never seen a person of color talking about life insurance. Everybody else is Caucasian.
Absolutely.
And this was a fellow Black woman.
Yep.
So it's true, lack of representation. So it kind of makes you feel like it's not for us because I don't see us in those
In it.
fields. Yes.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
And representation matters because you dream what you see. And
Yes.
if you don't see it, then hey,
Hmm.
it's not in your realm. It's not there.
Not there. It's not there.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
then the third one, cultural taboos. Back to what we had talked about earlier on. If you talk about life insurance, they're inviting death.
You're inviting death. That
Mhm.
was the best I ever had. This lady said, oh, wait, you want to talk? Like, hey, not ready to do that.
No, no. We can talk about any other thing. Life insurance, no. You can
Yeah.
even be cast out because they see you as a bad omen. Like, why are you talking
Yeah.
about?
Why are you inviting?
And it's crazy because death is inevitable. If
It
that
is,
makes
but remember I said we never want to beholden to those types of realities.
hmm,
We don't want to, because we feel it would probably hinder us from just
moving and
feeling
living
the
life and
sense of, yeah, I'm here, I'm free.
hmm, fair enough. And then also speaking of cultural taboos, there's some religion also that do not, allow life insurance. I know
Yeah.
some
Uh-huh.
Islamic people don't
Yeah.
uh embrace.
But they have a different way of managing their risks.
That is also very true.
I really got to interact with Muslim community, and they would say that because America is credit card driven, so these are refugees. America is credit card driven, so they would help one person build their credit. But they have this community-based camaraderie of building each other, even financially. They have to trust that they can put their money together and manage their risks through this money that they're putting together. So it's like the community has its own way of building each other financially, managing their risks as a group. And so they have like a parallel economy that can run without the mainstream institutions of finance, so to speak. The way they process their end of life, it's cost effective, because the very day you die is the very day you're gone. Their burial, it's not like these other people. So it's very different. It's a very different culture that even if they resist, they have a way of managing their ways.
Managing their ways.
And then they are very business oriented.
That they are.
So for them, then that becomes their source of livelihood. That becomes their place where they can be able to take care of the risks that are there. And that pulling together really makes a lot of difference. But for some of us, we come here to the US as more recent melanated immigrants. We can be individualistic. And so then that leaves us very vulnerable.
Very.
And then what happens when things go down?
And to add to that, I recall when my mom passed, because it's I will call it tradition, whereby if a loved one passes away, passes on, and I confuse those two. People come together, contribute money for the burial, funeral. It wasn't until I interacted with a Caucasian friend of mine. I thought it was the norm, lost a parent. Is there a way you can contribute? She paused and she asked me, your mom didn't have life insurance? Not even to be rude.
Because that's her world.
Yes. That was the first time I was introduced to this world of life insurance. I was like,
you didn't know what to do with it.
No.
I mean, yeah, you've been made aware, but it's like, okay.
I was like, So I had to ask her. I mean, I've heard about it, but can you? She was like, yeah, you set up a life insurance so that in case anything happens, there are those ones that will pay you an advance to cater for the burial and stuff like that. I was like, oh, wow.
Then pay the remaining.
Interesting. But you see, I'm from Kenya. We are used to fundraising.
But even now, even in Kenya, people are opening up to this idea of life insurance.
Which is good.
I find it's a reality. I had an uncle who lost the wife so far away from home. Like, I don't know how many miles Mombasa to Kisumu is.
Ooh. 10-hour drive, maybe.
More. It's more than a day.
Oh, okay.
It's far.
Okay.
So they were like, oh, it will cost you a lot to carry the body from Mombasa to, but thank God, these people had insurance.
And it made a difference.
Buried the body. Even the tents that were used for the ceremony had the number of the insurance company.
Wow.
I'm telling you, when people were going to the burial, the insurance group came to talk at the end, what they've done for you, and how they bring back some money once the burial is over. People lined up to sign up because it was real,
Yeah, now you're seeing it. Yes.
In one place.
In one place. Wow.
People lined up. Even my sister went to line up. I'm like, there you go.
I love that. I love that.
The rubber has met the road. But you can imagine if you met these people somewhere in the streets and you told them.
Oh, they will not pay attention.
They'd
Or
be
they
like,
will, but they'll be like, yeah, whatever.
Probably they would go back to the taboo of, hey, I'm not ready to do
It's
that.
inviting death. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to listen. But my God, I don't know what would have happened actually, because
Mm-hmm.
my uncle didn't have the money.
Wow.
And even the fundraising wasn't going to pull it off.
No, and we believe in fundraising so much that we fail to realize what happens after the burial.
It's a
Let's say if
very
the loved one
short-lived,
has
very
kids,
short-lived solution.
very short-lived. Yes,
But
we will fundraise, we will help with the funeral, the burial, the food. And then what if the loved one has kids? Bills that need to be paid, kids need to go to school. What if the
and
loved one has health issues? Who's going to take care of that?
it's yeah. This case was so real. Had an auntie of mine, she's 80 years old. I even now she said, I'm not going to the gravesite. I'm going to line up.
There you go.
And they recruited a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
It was because the time really brought the two together. Because
Mm-hmm.
I tell you, risks are here, our lives are here.
Yeah, yeah.
When they meet, we are shocked.
Mm-hmm. That is true. Wow. I'm glad we're doing what we're doing. There's a lot of unlearning and learning that we need to do,
Yep,
but we are making a difference, one person at a time. All right. So
absolutely.
the fourth one is financial prioritization,
Mm-hmm.
which is true. You're thinking, okay, I have other things to deal with. So life insurance, not right now. But one thing people fail to realize is that life insurance should be at the top because it will take care of all these other things that you're trying to take care of.
Yeah. It should be a foundation.
Yes.
Mhm.
Actually, foundation, not at the top. Yeah. Should be a foundation. Mm-hmm.
Mm. The other
Yeah.
things follow,
Then
but
the other things can follow through. I love
we
that
live,
analogy.
yeah, we live in a
Uh-huh.
world with a lot of competition. So at times we prioritize. As I told you, this lady was being interviewed. She was a classmate of mine in high school, and she said, "Oh, for me, so long as my kids can go to school, I have
Mm-hmm.
roof over my head and I have food, I'm fine."
You're like, what? Oh, that reminds me, there was a gentleman I was talking to, and he said about how he and his wife they have $200,000 in debt because they bought a brand new car, they bought a house. So I asked him, "Do you have life insurance?" He was like, "No."
Mm.
My heart
So
just broke.
those things are on quicksand. But you see,
Yes.
it's his reality is just the way we all think you have
Yeah.
this, you will be able to pay for a given
Hmm.
period, but that's a big
Life
debt.
insurance should be a priority. To our listeners, life
Mm.
insurance should be a priority.
Because
Like
those
Dr. Dorothy
cars,
said,
the house, he's protecting them with life insurance.
yes, but himself, nothing. Zero, nada.
If they're young, get a cheap life
Hmm.
insurance.
Yep,
You can still continue paying, but at least you have a
at
foundation.
least.
Mhm.
Yeah. And then the fifth one we have is complexity and confusion, especially the confusion part.
But before we go to that, there's something I also want to add that I think make people move away from life insurance.
Uh-huh.
Is I like listening to wealth builders,
Mm,
and there are
me
lots
too.
of people who really promote real estate. So
Oh,
at times you find they give priority to real estate, but
a
which I
lot.
don't frown upon. I think it's a good thing that people are encouraged to do that. The only caveat for me is that even when you do this real estate, if you don't have the money, you're taking a loan
Mm-hmm.
to buy this real estate
Yep.
that you're hoping will bring you some money.
Mm-hmm.
So that means if you hit a snag that you're not able to pay, you're losing the thing that you're setting up for an investment.
Yep.
So it takes us back to the foundation.
Mm-hmm.
We built a lot of things on quicksand, but
Quicksand.
knock
Yep.
on wood, some things are good. People have life and they're able to accrue this real estate. And
Mm-hmm.
so I have listened to people present how they have a fleet of real estate,
Mm-hmm.
which I would say is an outlier. For ordinary people, it's just the home that you're living in that you own.
Yes.
So even how do you ensure that this home that you own cannot vanish
Mm-hmm.
because you're not able to pay? Because nobody will say, hey, you've paid so much for this house. So now we are taking it back. We'll give you back the money you paid. No, if you've lost
No.
it,
Yeah.
foreclosure is foreclosure. So the only thing that you can counter foreclosure with is probably if you have insurance, then you can use a
Exactly.
cash value insurance. You say, hey, I can use this to pay.
Yeah.
But if you don't have that and things don't work, it's gone. But we have alternatives, and people talk of bonds, buying bills, treasury bills, uh, all money making accounts that have additional requirements for you to really make sure they are protected and they can give you money.
Yeah.
Because these are taxable types of investment.
Exactly.
And some of them, like real estate, you need to have money to keep repairing it. You need to be able to pay those escrows, whatever the
That's good.
taxes. So hey, and I'm not saying it's a bad thing, it's a good idea,
No.
but hey, have a foundation
Have a
so that
foundation.
you don't pour in your money, and if some windfall of some risk comes, then it's up in the air. But I've seen a lot of people who encourage people to go to real estate.
Real estate, a lot.
Mhm.
Not realizing, yeah, like you said, life insurance should be your foundation because it has very minimal maintenance.
Mhm.
Very
Yeah.
minimal. Yeah.
You don't need a plumber, you don't need an electrician, you don't need a
No, no.
heating, something.
Yeah. So we're discussing about the whole complexity and confusion.
Mhm.
Now, for me, yeah, I was confused. Like I said earlier on, when I hear life insurance, I think of Caucasian and rich people or wealthy people. That's it. That's all I know. And I don't want to know more because it's above my tax bracket.
Mhm.
Until, like I said, a friend of mine asked me, your mom didn't have life insurance. Then I'm like, wait, so somebody like me, really? Okay, I need to tap and figure out what is this.
Okay.
And
It's
then now
good.
when I jumped in, I realized it's not just life insurance. There's a bunch of other life insurances depending on what you're looking for.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And some form of protections actually probably is like if you talk annuity, it's not really, we are not still sticking with life insurance. It's
Yes.
just guarding yourself to have access to money over a long period of time.
Yes.
For me, I think some of it is mindset. I remember somebody took us to have a talk about insurance. I'm not so sure. I have a feeling it could have been college education, it could have been college funds. And I'm telling you, if you asked me what was going on there, I would not tell you what was going on. Because there was so much going on in my life. I'm a graduate student, I have my kids. For me, it was a break. I remember we were taken to I hope they got a room and we
Uh-huh.
were there. I just sat and yeah, walked in the same way I walked out. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
walked out the same way I walked in. Everything just went above my head. And I
Mm-hmm.
talked to that guy later on, the guy who organized.
Mm-hmm. What did you say?
He's happy now. I understand insurance because he doesn't think I really knew it.
Oh my.
I really knew what was going on. And it was true. In my
Wow.
head, I'm thinking, when are we
Mm-hmm.
leaving here so that I can go do my homework
Yeah.
and get dinner ready so that I'll be ready for tomorrow, Sunday, go to church, and Monday, go to school.
Mm-hmm.
My plate was full. There was
It was
no
full,
room. And so
yeah.
when this opportunity came, I looked back and I said, was it
Was it this is what they were talking about?
complicated? No, was it
Uh-huh.
that complicated? Or it was my mindset was just not able to
Mm-hmm.
accommodate anything.
Also, when you block your mind, like you said, you had a lot going on. So there was no room for new information.
Yep. No.
In life insurance at that, oh,
God, I'm so happy. I'm so happy for you. I'm so happy to hear that.
you're like,
That
thank you.
now you get it. He even mentioned that out of the whole group, he only knows one person who was in finance. So he
Mm-hmm.
was like, I think she's the only one who was following what was going on. The rest of you are just there for a
You're
ride.
just there,
So
just
funny.
filling up the seats.
What was lunch? Spoke to us, bought us lunch, and
Hmm.
adios.
And you called it a day.
Called it a day. And now I
And
listen
now,
to insurance
uh-huh.
and I'm like, it does make sense. It
Right?
adds.
It adds up. Why don't everybody have this?
Maybe they're like me when,
Maybe they were
oh,
like you.
yeah, and headlight. Huh? What are you talking about? Oh my God, that is hilarious. I look back and I'm like, whoa, complexity and confusion, a
I'm telling
walking
you.
wall of complexity and confusion.
Yeah. So the last one for today is fear of being taken advantage of. And it goes hand in hand with confusion because, like we said, life insurance is not just a one thing, it's very broad. So,
Yeah.
depending on what you're looking for, because you'll hear people saying, oh, I have this because it's cheap, or I used to have this because it's expensive. But then again, you're like, compared to what? So in the spirit of confusion, yeah, this one is cheap because this is what you're looking for. This one is
Obvious.
expensive because this is what you're looking for.
Mm,
So,
different.
if you don't understand those two things, so you feel like you're being taken advantage of. Like you will come to me and tell me, I have $1 million policy. You only pay $10. And then here comes Anne telling me, oh, you can get $1 million policy. You pay 1,000. They're like, oh, so Anne is just trying to rob
And
me.
it's being cheated. Yeah.
Yes, confusion.
Oh. And then you don't know it's a contract, but the contracts are absolutely different.
Yes, yes. Oh, we have a long way to go, Dr.
We
Dorothy,
really,
but
oh, we really have a long way to go.
yeah,
And it's so easy for us to be confused because it's a
yes.
taboo.
Yes, and
So you
what's
don't
sad is
want to
because,
talk much about, you don't want to appear stupid.
what's sad is that, I'm sorry to say this, but some agents take advantage of that confusion instead of
Mm.
talking with a client or a customer, figuring out what are
Hmm.
your needs, what are you looking for. If you're paying this is
Mm.
strictly for this.
Yeah.
If you're paying this, you're paying for this and that. You know what I'm saying? Instead of saying, oh, if you're paying this, they're ripping you off. No. That's what I'm saying. Some agents also
Yeah, they
add.
add to the confusion.
Yes.
That's unethical though. That
Very, very
that's
unethical.
it's not doing right.
Yeah. So
But it's easy with a lot of these pyramid schemes and people
hmm
being conned out of money. It's easy for people to just think, "Hey, is this another one of those where I'm going to lose
yes.
money?"
So they're like, let me lean to the cheap one, the $10 one.
Mhm.
Even if it's a scam, at least I'm
I've
losing
not lost
$10
much.
until it's 10 years later,
Then you realize, oh
you're
yeah,
older,
that money is just gone.
your
Ah,
back, your back is not the same. You
yep,
can no longer work. And then now
yep.
you're looking back and you're like, oh wow, this is why Anne told me to pay 1,000 to add
Oh,
long-term
I
care.
know,
Wow.
I know. Now you're in a different bracket. Oh, we are fearful.
We
There are so
really,
many things that can really work against us. We are fearful, we are suspicious, and rightfully so because of history. It's a taboo. There are so many things that can keep us out of the fence. If that is insurance,
yes,
we are here, we are just watching.
yes.
And we are watching like we are waiting for people to go down.
Hmm. That's
But
why I'm so proud of us for doing this so that we can let our people know we've evolved. We still have a long way to go, but we
yes,
are digging. We are
yeah,
digging. And
like,
as we are digging, we are letting everybody know,
yeah,
come with us.
it's safe.
It's safe. Yeah.
Mhm.
We still have a long way to go. You're right. The
Absolutely.
fear, the confusion, the taboos.
Being conned up, not appearing stupid. There are so many things to
So
make
many
somebody
things.
want to stay away.
And it makes me so happy knowing that in this platform that we are in, Dr. Dorothy, there are so many people that look like you and I
Yep.
making a difference in the community.
Uh-huh.
It makes me so happy.
The
So,
next
so
generation,
happy.
it's us.
Yes.
We are coming.
Yes.
Ready or not.
Uh-huh. So that being said, we've come to the end of our episode today. We'll appreciate your feedback, comments. Let us know what you guys liked about the episode, what you guys hated about.
That's fine
All the
too.
above.
Yeah.
And anything else you'd like for us to address in our next episode. So
Wow.
until then, bye bye.
Yes.